my God. How do we stop this? Ugh. Oh, 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 oh.
So let's recap what we just watched in the movie. She talked about the water cycle, and she started with the water vapor. The water vapor comes off the oceans, rivers, lakes, and streams. The water vapor is when the water evaporates and it becomes lighter than water when the water evaporates and moves upward. And then when the sun beats on the water and heats the water, so the very top layer of water evaporates and moves upward. They move all the way up, and when there's lots of water vapor together, they congregate into a cloud, and that's called condensation. They congregate into a cloud. And then when more and more water vapor is attracted to the cloud is at first it's white, then it becomes kind of gray. You've seen those gray clouds, right? And then water falls. And in Minnesota, sometimes water falls and sometimes snow falls. That's also precipitation. A lot of water. The water cycle is really important because a lot of water, when the water falls on the mountains, it gets stored in glaciers. And you can see the white stuff at the very top of the mountains. The top of the mountain is also called the peak of the mountain. At the peak of the mountain, glaciers are snow and ice. Glaciers are a mixture of snow and ice. And they're not snow because because they're a mixture of snow and ice. The difference between glaciers and snow is that glaciers are there for years and years and years. And very slowly, they are melting to give us water. And actually, they're shrinking. And that's an issue for the world. It's called global warming, but we're not going to talk about that. But a big deal is that we're not going to talk about that. But it is a big deal that these glaciers are shrinking slowly. I don't think I should even mention global warming. Mountains are very effective at storing water. What do you think effective means? Yes, they're very good at storing water because of the glaciers. The glaciers store lots of water and release it very slowly. Many mountains are in a mountain range. So when the glaciers melt and they turn into rivers, they flow down the mountainside, and those are the slopes of the mountains. In this reading, we have slopes and we have steep slopes. Steep slopes are this slope. And just a plain old slope is this. So, do you think water goes faster down this slope or this slope? Yes, it definitely moves faster on a steep slope. That's the difference between slopes and steep slopes. Below the slopes where all the rivers are and the lakes and where the rivers, the lakes, the streams, the oceans are, those are called valleys. Well, I don't think below the slopes where the rivers and the lakes are and where most people live, that's called a valley. So where does the water cycle start? Does it start here in the clouds? Does it start here in the ocean? You are correct. It has these steps and it's a cycle. So we don't really know where you can pick where it starts as long as you have the next thing. As long as you understand the order that the cycle moves, you can pick as long as you understand the order that the cycle moves. Now, put these sentences in order. If you look at the picture, this is a diagram of the water cycle, which you just watched a little video about. We're just going to go over the steps in the water cycle one more time. First of all, the water vapor starts in the ocean. And what warms it? Yes, the sun warms it. And what does it do? It goes upward because it becomes lighter than gravity, I guess. And the water droplets become vapor. They move upward. They gather in. And where do all this water vapor? It gathers. Yes, it gathers in clouds. And when the clouds get really full of water vapor, the clouds get kind of gray. You've seen gray clouds, right? And you know what's going to happen under a gray. What's going to happen after when a cloud gets gray? Yes, it's going to rain. And in Minnesota, sometimes it snows. So it snows onto the mountains. It rains everywhere. But when it rains onto the mountains store the water in glaciers. That's the white things at the peaks or the tops of the mountains. Glaciers are a mixture of snow and ice that don't go away. This is why mountains are very effective at storing water. What do you think effective means? Yes. What do you think effective means? Yes, it means good at storing water. Many mountains together are a mountain range, and usually mountains are in a mountain range. Slopes. Mountains have slopes, and slopes are the angle of, and these are slopes, the angle of the mountain. In our reading, we have slopes, which is a small angle, and we have steep slopes, which is a big, strong angle. Which is a small angle, which is a much stronger angle. Do you think rivers flow down? Do you think rivers flow faster on a steep slope or on a slope? Below the slopes, where the rivers are, below the slope, at the bottom of the mountain, where the rivers are and where most people live, they are called valleys. I'm going to go to another slide, and I want you to try to put these sentences in order. Much better.